The first of these 18 features is right here on the screen. So this is the new Model 3. So you can see the bezel is actually a few millimeters thinner on the side and top compared to the old Model 3. They've also changed the feel of the bezel. So if you're swiping to the side or doing something like this, you'll feel that this is a much smoother feeling. It's really nicely done, and it's something that they haven't mentioned. The other thing they've changed are the scroll wheels. Now they look the same, but when you press them side to side or press them in, the movement of them and the feedback you get in your thumbs is just a smoother feeling compared to the old one. They've also changed one of the motors on the outside. The old charge port sounded like this. The new charge port sounds like this. Just a more smooth, efficient movement. They've added this right here to have this inserted to make the car more stable during side impacts, and the car overall just sounds better with a better thud when the doors are closing. Now on the non-refresh Model 3, they did eventually upgrade the front windows to be double paned, but on the new 2024 Model 3, all 4 windows all around the vehicle are double paned, giving you the quietest cabin ever in the Model 3. Now, because no one has a life anymore, we argue about things that don't matter. And one of the arguments online is this isn't the Highland, it's the new Model 3, it's Highland, it's not Highland, whatever. But what we did discover in Andrew's Model 3 is it actually said Highland under the front passenger seat, as you can see on the sticker on your screen. Now, I just checked under my Model 3 Performance. I did not have this sticker. So check under your front seat. You might have that sticker that actually says Highland to it. I think that ends the argument. Now, these tires were also changed for the newer model. They worked hand in hand with Pirelli to create a high-performance, low-rolling resistant tire that is able to give you track capability and efficiency on the road. The old washer fluid location used to be right here, and the tow hook used to be right here. But now the new washer fluid location is right here, so it's extremely easy to access, and the tow hook is tucked up under the front here, which is really nice. There's only one USB-C charger in the center console. The center console here also now uses magnets to close as opposed to a clip. Now, previously, if you didn't want to use your phone for whatever reason, you would have to lift this up and put your key card here to start the car. But they've actually changed the location of this, just like they have in the Model S and X, to put it right here to activate and turn on your vehicle if you don't have your phone. The padding on the A and B pillars, and as well as the entire roof line, is now slightly softer material. There's actually a little bit of give to it in comparison to the old ones. One of the best features of the Model 3 is their efficient use of space, and they've increased it for the newer model. So now there is storage here and storage over here, whereas on the previous model, one of those sides was blocked out. So slightly more storage, and you still have this sub-trunk. Here is the seal or the rain guard on the previous version. You can see it's just a lip here, and then if there's a bunch rolling down off of here, it can actually come into your trunk. But take a look what they've done to the new one. On the new one, there's actually a lip here. That way, if a bunch of water falls off of the trunk and rolls down here, it will be caught on this lip, and they have little holes drilled into this rain guard that takes it down into the paint and drains it over the side, so you won't have any spillage into the trunk. A very small but welcomed change. So on this 2020 Model 3, if you go into climate, you can see the air is blowing out of the passenger side, but maybe I don't want my passenger to have air. So if I hold this, it doesn't turn off. They give them air, they give them benefits. So on the newer one, you can see that our passenger has air right now, but we can cut their benefits if they decide to mouth off. There's also a setting in your Tesla called HandsFree Trunk, and a lot of cars do this, but if you stand right here, you hear that noise, and the trunk will open itself up. And that was a software update and a feature that they just added to this. Now, a lot of companies have been doing this for a long time. This is a big breakthrough for Tesla. Others, it's just another day at the office. Now, right here is where you can toggle that hands-free trunk setting on and off. But if you click this eye right here, it gives you a little bit more detail. And in very small print at the bottom, it says, requires iPhone 11 Plus with nearby interactions on for Tesla. So you Android users, double middles. Now, this is a weird thing, and you'd almost have to be sitting in the cars back to back to notice this, but I notice it almost every time I get in the car. And that's the mechanism they use to dispense seatbelt to you. It's very smooth. It's very nice compared to the old one, because when the Model 3 came out in 2017, we were stronger people. We've only gotten weaker since then. So they've made this mechanism very smooth for us weak people to pull it out and plug into our car that will drive us to the Golden Corral buffet to feed our fat faces. Annoyingly, one thing that hasn't changed is this is totally exposed under your trunk here. You can see your subwoofers there, and it just doesn't look great. You have all this nice black trim along here, and then you just have this exposed Walmart rafters look down here. But I've found the perfect fix. All right, so for this install process, you start by putting the back end in first. It all fits perfectly into here, and all these little cutouts are perfect. The tough part is getting these little tabs up under this strip right here. So you can see I have this pry tool, and I'm just kind of going along the edge and pulling it out and then sliding them in where they need to go. So that's definitely the hardest part of the install, but as you can see, once it's done, it really finishes off the trunk and looks good, and it just should have come like this from the factory. And here is the end result. Now, I do want to be transparent about how I installed this, because I don't like, there's some YouTubers, like, you'll get an accessory and they're like, there's the end result, it was easy. This wasn't that easy to install, and I didn't use any of the parts that it came with. So I don't know what these screws are for, because it actually clamps up into place really nicely. The fit is so snug that I didn't use any of this stuff. All I used was this pry tool here, this plastic pry tool, and under here, these tabs, I just used this as like a shoehorn. So I'd grab a tab and then tuck it up underneath for each of them, and then it all slid into place really nicely. So again, my discount code Gjeebs will save you 20% on their website. I can't believe this exists. I'm really happy about that. But I've also worked with this company, Yeslac. I did a video for them years ago, and I reached out and they sent this out to me. So nice of them to extend 20% off to you guys and free shipping for this product. So yeah, highly recommend it if you want to finish your trunk off. Again, didn't use any of this stuff, just used a pry tool, and it all worked out. And the other thing is 3D Mats just came out with their floor mats and trunk mats for the new Model 3 Highland. I will have them linked in the description. These are the ones that are the best in my opinion. They have the best fitment. They use the 3D scanners for the floor mats, the frunk, everything. And I've used them for years and they're really good. So I'll have my discount code with them. Again, free shipping and a discount on 3D Mats USA. Now, if you want to see why this costs $54,000 and the other Model 3 Performance costs $18,000, click this video right here where I compare both of them and go through the differences as well as a sound test to see how much quieter this is than the old one.